Hello and welcome to the Daily Dark Arisen PC News. At this rate, it could almost just become daily because I want to talk about it some more. I want to talk about it some more, and you can now, guys, see this screenshot looks kinda like poop because this is from the PS3 version. Boo! Boo!
Yeah.
Boo! So
Doesn't
I
look too
have
great.
prepared a screenshot comparison because I like doing those. So yeah, this is the PC version, and hold on. PC version! Wow!
Whoa!
Whoa! Sugoi desu ne! Holy banana!
This
Wow!
reminds me of that time that I played most of the game without the HD texture pack installed, and then when I finally did, it was like a whole new game.
Yeah, it looks like a pretty big difference, if I may say so. Although it is kind of weird, like some elements, like I mean, for instance, if you look at the mountains in the background side with the fog and everything in the new version, it kind of looks like maybe like either there's a filter missing. It could also be the depth of field effect being lessened, which is more apparent in a later screenshot. So yeah, like it. I mean, it definitely looks better overall, but like it's possible they've tweaked certain effects just to be completely different as well.
Maybe post-processing isn't there yet, too.
Yeah. So before I move on to other screenshots, I just want to mention a couple of quick things. So January 15th is the release date. That was tweeted by Capcom Germany.
Yay!
Alright. Alright.
So yeah, let's just move into more screenshots.
Nice.
More screenshots. More screenshots again. We see like a Chimera dude, and like black bars once again on PS3 version.
Oh no,
black bars,
I'm
black
being
bars.
eaten by the
You
Chimera.
can see like things that generally blur. Like if I zoom in now, like it's very apparent. Like 720p resolution, so a little bit blurry when you zoom in.
Help.
And now PC version.
Wow!
PC version. And now when I zoom in, it looks super detailed because this is a 4K screenshot, which is kind of insane. I don't think many people have 4K monitors, but it's a thing you can do. It's a thing you can do. So yeah, it looks pretty spiffy in comparison. Pretty spiffy.
Indeed.
They even added lightning in the PC version. Wow!
I wonder the spell effects are going to be drastically improved, too, I bet.
Oh yeah, that'd be nice. Okay, another screenshot. This is Snakes, PS3. Again, black bars. Black
A
bars.
snake.
So I like this screenshot because
Snake.
this is a cutscene, which means it's actually pretty easy to get an exact screenshot in the PS3 version. So when you look at PC version now, like you can see the same exact scene,
Wow.
but
The detail.
no black bars. Like you see a little bit more up and down, and like this screenshot looks extremely different, especially since like one thing I found a little bit odd, like this PS3 screenshot, it has this weird green, like filter or whatever, which is completely gone on the PC version.
I feel like the game on 360 had that kind of color filter the entire game.
That actually reminds me, I was looking up the Digital Foundry article for Dragon's Dogma on PS3 and Xbox 360 some days ago, and that mentioned the PS3 version had a general higher brightness on the PS3 compared to Xbox 360. That might also be the reason why it looked just a bit more washed out compared to PC
Yeah.
version. But like the green filter, I don't fully understand. And you can see the specific things they've added. Like if you look at the recent clothing, there's now fancy self-shadowing on the PC version, and that looks pretty fancy.
Ooh.
And I've also prepared a different version of this comparison. So if I zoom in here,
Right.
so that makes a couple of changes a little bit more apparent. Like the background, the depth of field effect is a lot more stronger than in the PS3 version. So that makes me think that the depth of field might maybe be based upon resolution. So maybe like the higher resolution, the weaker the depth of field effect is.
You know, I think that reminds me of something you could do with the DS fix in Dark Souls. Actually, you could alter the resolution of the depth of field effect, and it had to be like a subset of your actual rendering resolution. It was kind of weird. But what I think is going on here with the snake is I think the snake might actually be using like the same or very similar textures, but the low resolution and post processing of the console version just making it seem very, very blurry.
And this is the most important comparison by the way, just look at this, come on. This is PC version, and ta-da! Blackness! Oh my
What?
god! Oh my
What?
god, stupid black
Oh, black
bars!
bar.
Oh.
But yeah, there's one thing I started to think about. Like, I wonder if the game will actually look a little bit more similar to this when you play it with like maybe they still have the green filter in the game, but maybe they have done some changes to the screenshots themselves. Because I started thinking that Capcom did this with did something similar with screenshots the release of Resident Evil 4 Ultimate HD, where they like very heavily messed with the contrast and color settings for screenshots.
Wish they
Which was
wouldn't.
weird because those screenshots look terrible.
Yeah, like I thought the final game looked better, so that was
Weird.
weird. And speaking of which, it has been confirmed on Capcom forums that it is Kulok doing this port. They also did RE4 Ultimate HD. They did RE6, a bunch of Street Fighter game ports. Like specifically, they did PC ports of the games I'm mentioning. They also did DMC PC port, like the reboot one, and they also did the original Raccoon City PC port, which I guess they wouldn't want anyone to ever mention. I don't know.
Let's not.
No.
Let's not about that.
I'm hoping that means this port will be good, because they have done pretty good ports when they are porting games which already has a really good foundation for having a good PC engine. Like for instance, like RE6 that uses empty framework, and that PC port ended up being pretty good. While then you have stuff like RE4 HD and Operation Raccoon City where they struggled a little bit more, and I think that's because like the engine they were using, it just wasn't built for PC.
Mm.
I mean, I'm still going to be kind of curious as to exactly how demanding this release will be, considering just how bad the frame rate was on console.
Well, Capcom have said that like this new version plays a lot smoother.
Oh,
So
oh, wait. I noticed something else as you were flicking back and forth between those two screenshots. There's extra shadows on the character model for the Arisen.
yeah, that's
Oh,
the
yeah.
self-shadowing I mentioned earlier.
Clever.
So I guess we can just move on. I have other screenshots. So like this is a new screenshot they released, Griffin, feathers, all that. Yes. And just like zoom in closer, like you can see. Wow, look at that detail on the eye. Like holy
Look
shit!
at that
wow.
blade of grass.
Wow. Whoa. So one thing I wanted to do is that I wanted to try to make a better comparison for the textures, but it is tricky. So I made this, which just shows that like even on the PS3, when you get really close, like some things still look really good, real up close. Like one thing I really want to make a comparison of is the textures for the clothing, because that is where the console versions were worse, I think. But I just didn't get a good comparison for that.
Interesting.
And one thing I learned while taking this screenshot is that there's an alternate ending to the whole scene with Hydra, with Mercedes being the hero. Oh my god! So if you just like really slow it, don't attack the Hydra, like Mercedes will eventually give you this explosive fun barrel, which you then throw at the Hydra. That's kind of fun.
Nice.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I knew about that scene.
Oh.
I think I encountered that scene.
I don't think I've ever seen it. I think I've been too mad and just attacked the Hydra too quickly.
Me too.
So I guess one potential worry about this port is that people have mentioned that like the Steam store page, which is now up for the game, it's saying that the game is not available in Asia, which is weird because Capcom, their main offices are in Japan, and most of the games, like Princess Dragon's Dogma, was released in Japanese. So that makes me think like they might be weird and not release a Japanese version of that, and like maybe there will be no Japanese voices in any release of this.
Wow.
Huh.
So I wanted to talk a little bit about mods, because modding will be pretty exciting for this game. So I have a bunch of screenshots I have taken of some very brief modding I did of the Xbox version a couple of years ago.
I hope this includes the screenshot I'm thinking of.
So here is Celine replacing Caxton. This is a pretty
Right.
simple thing to change. Like there's a file defining all the the
All right,
visual
hang on.
aspects.
Before we move on, I need Aquamatey's opinion on something.
Mm-hmm.
Iron and steel honed to an edge, that's all a man really needs. Is that true?
A good hard edge is okay, but no, there's more to life than that.
Yeah, that's what I thought. All right, so just continue.
Caxton's pretty fucking stupid, actually.
Well, yeah.
I was gonna
Yeah.
say like this is a pretty simple change. There's a file defining just like everything to do with how an NPC looks. I just replace that file with Celine's file, and there you go.
I replaced it with Chris's file. I made a mod. Oh.
And there's another change you can do. Just like if there's one variable defining a character's outfit, so you can then give Mercedes Madeline's outfit for whatever reason.
I am Madeline, that woman I escorted by picking her up and throwing her
And you can also
every single time.
you can also like just get our outfits look a bit different by editing textures and stuffs.
This text has been successfully replaced.
Oh yeah, that's another thing. I replaced text in the game. That's very easy to do as well. Just text. And speaking of text, and also like I drastically improved Caxton here.
Yes.
Blah 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 blah.
Okay, so for this next screenshot, I have to be a little bit careful because I basically have to do like censoring on the fly. So like as I mentioned earlier, you could like there's a variable defining like the outfit for each character.
no.
So of course, like
Oh,
you could just
no.
very easily like change that to be like -1, which means they're wearing nothing. So then you get a
Don't
result
get me
like
banned.
this, like this,
Yes.
like
Look
this.
at
You get this
that.
result.
No, you don't have to censor it.
I have to. Actually, you're
don't
right. I
want
don't have
to
to
be
do any
banned.
censoring.
Oh, okay.
Look, they're meant for each other. Look at it. They're like, oh. This is the first mod that I will play with. And I'll stream it live at ryman.tv.twitch.
Oh dear.
So it is worth
Oh,
mentioning, like, if you do this, it's just Barbie nudity. I'm actually kind of curious, like if you end up streaming this, would the Twitch ban it, even though like there's no like naughty details, it's just Barbie details?
Mm.
I guess I'll find out.
Oh god.
Well,
And then I also have a bunch of screenshots of Dragon's Dogma Online because we've been playing that way too much, and it's a lot of fun. It's a great fun game. You can take a lot of fun screenshots of the game, and Ryman is trying to be rude and take all the glory.
Wow.
I have all the great
Center of
screenshots.
Camera whore.
Camera
Oh,
whore.
look how pretty I am. That's my
Aquamatey's
character.
character. That's my character. That's me being
Oh, wait,
disconnected
wait.
because I lost connection to the game. The character
Oh.
automatically kneels when that happens, apparently.
There.
You are not my shield's crest, Ryman. you can be on that one. It's wood.
Because it's wood, it's fine.
Yes.
Oh dear.
There,
Um,
you can take so many screenshots of just characters dancing. It's so amazing. I think
Where should I?
that's Mute Lava dancing in the background here.
Looks
set
like
up
it.
Foreground, I mean.
I'm really enjoying Dragon's Dogma Online.
It's a fun game. If people are okay with messing a little bit with VPNs and the game being primarily in Japanese, I highly recommend trying the Japanese version because it's just super fun to play.
Oh, yeah, it's that scene earlier.
Yeah, that just happened earlier today.
I'll just rest on your shoulder.
So I think one interesting topic would be like what kind of mods would you guys want to see for the PC version of Dark Arisen?
Giant bull-eyed that lasts forever. Maelstrom that lasts forever. What was the mod that we talked about the other day? So guards can't catch you while you're casting that stuff, so you'll just never go to jail. Was it just bull-eyed that lasts forever, or follows you around, or casts automatically?
Yeah,
or something like that?
I had that idea. I have like I just want to make a quick mod where you cast ball at once and it never ever ends. So you can just like walk through the entire world with ball light active. I would want
Yes.
that.
Most of the mods have to do with sorcerer.
Do you have any specific ideas for stuff you'd like to see, Ryman?
Yeah, that's a tough one. Well, if there was a way to make my character look even more like Jean from God Hand, like, I'd be up for that. But I'm not sure if that would be possible.
Well, that reminds me.
If it uses the same empty framework version as the original release, I think modding will be possible like almost from day one or very close to day one.
Or well, in that case, maybe Devil May Cry 4 model imports.
play as Dante in Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen.
Or Nero, or Lady, or Trish.
Or Gloria.
I guess.
I want to swap. I want to swap Reynard in for the Arisen. I want him to be my Arisen.
I wouldn't. I'm kind of curious if that would be doable because I think the Arisen is defined differently than NPCs, but I'm not sure. It might be possible. It would be interesting to look into. I think I would be okay with playing as Mercedes, like do a full playthrough of the game as Mercedes. I think that'd be fun.
Mercedes and her French accent.
But I've been writing this list of mod ideas, like based on stuff I've been thinking of and stuff I have seen other people mention. So, like for instance, I'm like, as I mentioned earlier, always spotlight. Like that's one of the first things I want to fiddle with. I think it will also be interesting to like try to import some of the costumes from Dragon's Dogma Online into Dark Arisen, because I think that game has a couple of amazing costumes, like the one Liz is wearing during a grand mission. It's kind of amazing. I want that costume. And there's like also just a bunch of like quality of life convenience stuff. I would love to see, like for instance, I would love it so whenever you change vocation, it would remember the equipment and skills you had set like the previous time you had that vocation. Dragon's Dogma Online does this, and it's super convenient. I really wish Dark Arisen would do the same thing. And a pretty obvious thing, I kind of assume everyone will request all the time, like get pawns to shut up, like talk less. Like I imagine many people will request that, and that might be doable. And I think it would be a fun thing just to mess around with. Like this would not be balanced at all, but like being able to use any skill as any class, I think that would be a pretty fun function.
Yeah.
And I'm also really curious what will happen if you force the pawns to be able to play as the hybrid classes, because by default they cannot play as the the Mystic Knight, the Assassin, and
I forgot about that.
the
Magic Archer.
class. Yeah, Magic Archer. Those two classes not available. So I'm kind of curious, like, what will happen if you do force them to use those classes by modding? If they will just like fail to function, if it does work at least partially.
The game crashes.
And speaking of like playing as an NPC, I imagine it should be doable, very easy. Potentially just have it so that you can force an NPC to follow you around the entire game, because you already have that functionality for escort quests. So maybe you can just force it on all the time. So you could have like Aquamatey could play as Reynard with Reynard following him the entire game.
That's a love story. I could make a movie.
And another thing, which I imagine this should be very viable, and I think this is another thing some people will request a lot. Do you guys remember the really weird level up system in Dragon's Dogma 1, where each time you level up you get higher stats, and the higher stats is based on your current class? So there are people out there who are trying to like min-max their stats, and if you play like that, you have to play in a really weird way. Like for instance, if you want to become a really powerful sorcerer, you have to like play mage like 1 to 20, then play as another class until like 100 or something.
Admittedly, I dabbled in that. Trust me, it's not fun.
I personally don't care too much about stats to even do that, but I see a lot of people complaining about that system. So it should be doable. Just create a mod where you can like just shuffle those points around at any time, so you don't have to like make sure that you level up as a specific class or something like that. And one mod which would be a lot more difficult to make, but I think this would like drastically improve the game, is if you could like randomize enemy spawns somewhat, because I think this is the one thing which is disappointing about both Dragon's Dogma 1 and Dragon's Dogma Online, is that whenever you go into the field, you will see the same enemies in the same spots. Well, the only time it changes is during nighttime. Otherwise, you will always see the same enemies in the same spots, and that's a bit of a bummer.
That's a good point.
Like if that could be randomized.
Locations too.
Yeah, like that would be really cool.
Do you think anything should be done via modding about the game getting easier the more you play it?
Yeah, I mean, I think I would be very much interested in a mod like that. I'm not quite sure how you would do it. Like, just like normalize all the enemy stats and make it impossible for the player to become more powerful. I don't know. It seems like it would be a massive undertaking because I think you would be forced to rebalance the entire game because it is already balanced around the player gradually becoming more powerful.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
like
a tricky one.
it is something I would be interested in because I can remember like when I did my playthrough of like having a new character and then playing the game from scratch at hard mode. I actually had a lot more fun playing it like that than my original playthrough.
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna jump into hard mode when I start this again on PC. Because like basically, I reached a point where the only thing that was difficult was Bitter Black Isle, and even then that took a while to get difficult again. And it might have been difficult in undesirable ways at times.
Yeah. Another convenient thing, which should also be very doable, is I don't know if you remember the pawn inclination system, where they
Oh yeah.
will have a general like behavior in combat, like they will focus on like being close to you, defending you, etc. And that inclination would very easily be changed by just giving them generic commands, and that was a little bit frustrating. So like changing that system should be easy, and that would also make that just more convenient. I think that's it for mods I've listed. If there's other people with other ideas, I would be really curious to see what other people think. And I'll just
That includes you guys.
yeah, like you guys watching this video and people in general, humanity in general.
Just humans.
Because I will be writing
I
down
thought-
ideas.
I thought of another one.
What?
That's probably wouldn't be too difficult to do. Weapon model swaps.
Yeah, that should be doable.
Yeah, like Adam, imagine Cloud's Buster Sword, Dragon's Dogma.
Yeah,
Just
that
picture
could
it.
be interesting. It could be interesting.
Among many other Final Fantasy weapons, potentially.
Indeed. Indeed. Interesting.
Yeah, model mods has a lot of potential. I think I'd personally be interested in model mods which, like, at least somewhat fits into like the game. Like seeing, for instance, Dante move around. Like I think that would be a bit too off-putting. I mean, well, it would be fun just like mess around with, but I don't think I would want to have a full playthrough like that because it would just look too out of place.
Wait, because
Mind
this
you-
empty framework would RE5 models be usable?
Well, I mean, it is not as simple that you could just like copy and paste them and that they work perfectly fine. But
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 that's the right format.
I mean, it is a similar format, so that means it should be easy-ish, hopefully.
Okay.
Okay, so maybe having Dante himself in the game would be a little out of place. But what about his sword, Rebellion, or Nero sword, Red Queen? How about putting them? Do you think that would be good?
I don't think I would use them personally, but I mean, it would be a fun idea. I imagine it will be done.
I'd probably play Warrior a lot more if I could do stuff like
Oh
that.
yeah, I guess a swords would. I was thinking probably of fighter that would look a little bit weird, but for warrior that would look more okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Like all the suggestions I had for like sword imports would be stuff that would fit warrior, but not much else, which is a shame because that class is hard to play well.
Yeah, it is probably the hardest class to play as.
And one of the reasons is that it's limited to 3 skills, which is something else that could probably be fixed by modding, letting warrior use 6 skills instead of being limited to 3.
Oh
What
yeah, I
about
forgot
making
about
your
that.
own hybrid class that uses like skills that you pick from each class?
Yeah, that is something similar to I was talking about, like being able to choose any class. I mean, any skill as any class. I think that would actually be super easy to do, and that could lead to some fun, although potentially also really imbalance the game. Like being able to cast ball light as fighter. That could be fun.
I would play that way.
There's one thing I'm suddenly reminded of. I might as well mention. Giant Bomb had recently had a podcast where one of the people there mentioned they had heard a rumor many years ago, and this is gonna make you guys super sad, that that Capcom had a build. Like this is back in 2012 or even earlier. They had a build of Dragon's Dogma on PC with functioning multiplayer they just used to mess around with.
Wow.
If that's true, that's kind of makes me
Yeah.
jealous. But I mean, if it is true, I would guess that was probably just like a super early prototype of the game or something.
Yeah.
I would be surprised if they had that functioning very late in the project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the only other thing I'd want from a mod perspective is I would just want someone to go crazy and just like go back and just create insanely high detailed textures, like even better than what we've seen in the PC screenshots.
That would be a massive undertaking, as the game has a lot of textures.
It would be.
I am super curious. I'm super curious. Like, I mean, for instance, if you just look at this, look at this picture, like this texture doesn't look great. I'm really curious. Like how does this look on PC? Like, how does the worst textures on the console version look right now on the PC version? I would be really curious. I hope they look at least good enough.
I mean, it would be a massive undertaking, but I mean, there are people who go and retexture huge chunks of like, Bethesda RPGs, and you know how big those games are.
Yeah, but
yeah.
I mean, that is also like the biggest RPG of all time. It has a giant modding community. I wish Dragon's Dogma would be in a similar situation. But yeah, I really do hope a big active modding community will arise around Dark Arisen, because I think this game has a ton of modding potential. We just need people to mod it, and we also need a bunch of modding tools. Like, I will be trying my best to try to reverse engineer some formats and make tools for them. But I won't be able to make tools for everything. So Ryman, you should get on that too. Thanks.
Oh dear. Oh, and of course, giant animals. Like, yeah. Like,
replace a Chimera with like the rabbit model.
Sure.
That would be amazing.
Like a giant killer rabbit. Sure.
No, that reminds me of Dragon's Crown, where you actually do fight like killer rabbits at one point. That was fun.
Wow. Oh man, look, there's even rabbits in Minecraft now, like just a vanilla game with no mods, and like some of the rabbit models in that game have these evil red eyes. It's creepy, but they don't actually attack you.
Adam, can you think of any mods you would like to see for Dragon's Dogma?
Ooh, that's a tough one, considering I've never actually finished the game.
Were there any like things you disliked about Dragon's Dogma you could think would be made better with mods?
No, I mean, it would have been helpful if there was some sort of like waypoint marker to show you where you needed to go for missions. That would have been handy, but I don't think that can be a type of thing modded into the game.
I'm pretty sure there was waypoint markers in the game already.
Yeah, there was. I can't remember how accurate or like friendly they were though. I think I also remember like just getting the general idea. There were several quests where I had to like investigate things by my own instead of being led to a specific point.
Yeah.
That does remind me that I've heard some people request like a friendlier teleport system in the game, and that should also be very doable by modding. I mean, you could just very simply make a mod which gives the player more fairy stones and port crystals.
Yeah. Nice.
I wonder if there's any potential in having a bigger part than 4, or if that's hard coded. Like, imagine having 7 pawns with you. 7 pawns all causing bolide.
7 naked Reynards.
Oh dear.
All casting bolide.
Oh dear.
I think that's all the mods I can think of.
Yeah.
Do you have
I'm
any?
sure I'll come up with more ideas once we actually start playing Dark Arisen again.
Oh yeah, definitely. You weren't in the previous podcast. Do you have any general thoughts about Dark Arisen PC, Aquamatey?
Oh no, I want to express my disappointment that you did not pass along my message last time when I was on the plane. I could not be part of the podcast. All I wanted Was someone to say something about Naked Rainer, and so I'm
Well,
making
at
up
least
for it
we
at
have
this
that as a
podcast.
major part of this podcast.
Yes, exactly.
true.
We've
That
made up
is
for
true.
it.
I mean, he's even been visible like 5 times now.
Oh dear.
You should end the podcast with that screenshot.
Or I could end it with us dancing in Dragon's Dogma.
There's no dancing
Dragon's
animations
Dogma Online.
in
Oh yeah.
in Dark Arisen, is
Oh
there?
yeah, that's another thing I was thinking of. I didn't mention. It might end up being very, very trivial to copy animations from Dragon's Dogma Online to Dragon's Dogma Dark Arisen. I would imagine that's a format which might be identical.
Mm. But what about copying animations from other MT Framework games?
That might be hard. I think it all depends on if the like the rig for animations is the same. I would imagine it is the same between Dragon's Dogma Online and Dragon's Dogma 1.
I mean, imagine during Nero's air guitar taunt as your Dragon's Dogma character. Just picture it.
That could be fun.
Isn't it beautiful?
I think I saw people were actually able to like swap animations between Revelations 2 and RE6. That's a case of it being like just doable and very easy.
Nice. Oh well, there's hope.
Or Dragon's Dogma needs in general is just a taunt button.
But yeah, I think I'll end the podcast there. So thanks for watching and bye bye.